Welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network, where we bring you the most relevant and timely news from all corners of the continent. Our mission is to showcase the diversity, beauty, and strength of Africa, and to provide a platform for African voices to be heard.
Rather, the people who are telling him to go on televisions are the ones who are behind the persecution of my son. So I'm surprised for a field combat officer. He normally has got very good intelligence because he wouldn't have survived the war as a guerrilla fighter if his intelligence was faulty. I don't know why he is being misled by being given chicken feed. It's in intelligence per circles. What is being given is called chicken feed. That my son was incarcerated by the president and that I should not have a relationship with the president because he incarcerated my son. It's not true. I want to put it on record. And I just want to say, I worked with him very well when we were in the War Veterans Association. He was in charge of my business unit. And together we are the ones who pushed for Manize, the steel plant, to be there with him. He was the promoter of that business unit. That steel plant today is making ArcelorMittal South Africa close. We are now the champions of steel in Southern Africa. I was at ArcelorMittal 2-3 weeks ago, meeting with the executives. We are now looking at how the two countries' steel sectors can coalesce because Zimbabwe has stolen an edge in terms of steel production in the sub-region, perhaps in sub-Saharan Africa. I did that project with a lot of support from the war veterans. It is one of the reasons why we fell out with Mugabe, because he didn't want that project since 2014. Comrade Geza was my team, was my business development manager. All I can say to him, we are making new headway about Manize. We are going to become a major steel fabricator downstream for Southern Africa. A lot of widgets shall be made in Zimbabwe for the Zimbabwean market, for the regional market, and for the global market. And the South African car industry, which uses a lot of steel, is salivating at the prospect of having good quality virgin steel from Zimbabwe. And you know the South African car industry is big. So there are very good reasons why we may come together with South Africa and make the railways talk to each other, make the roads talk to each other, have a common tariff regime between the two countries, because pound for pound in the whole world, there is no region.
Then, interestingly, for some reasons, Comrade Mutsvangwa didn't want to attack Comrade Geza for a very long time. So at a certain point in time, he mentioned him and said bombshell, which he quickly corrected and said Comrade bombshell. Then he started showering praises on Comrade Geza. He started to talk about how they both brought him the Manize project. So indirectly, Mutsvangwa is campaigning for Comrade Geza. Why is he mentioning those good things about Comrade Geza if they are not working together, or if they are in disagreement, or if something bad is about to happen to him? Pane nyaya ipapapa. You can actually see that it was deliberate for Christopher Mutsvangwa to attack other people like Kasukwere, Tendai Biti, who are non-entities in this whole issue. Vana Kasukwere vanhu vari kungobatirirawo nyaya pamusoro simply because varikudawo kudzoka kumusha, and probably kana pakanzi NTA, they might be part and parcel of it. But chinhu ichi ndechaComrade Geza nevamwe vari muno muZimbabwe. Why is Christopher Mutsvangwa praising Geza like that? So this is me questioning. I do not know, guys, your views and your thoughts about that, but we need to ask along those lines. If you look at this presser by Comrade Christopher Mutsvangwa, it was not that robust presser like the ones Zanombosimboita vachipenga vachita. Number one, he was calm. Number two, he was well composed. Number three, he focused more on praising the people he purposed to be speaking against. So if you look at it, the only time Christopher Mutsvangwa deviates from these praises and so forth is when he was asked specific questions. And izozozo, it's questionable. I have seen that a lot of people who I have talked to, they view whatever which Christopher Mutsvangwa said today as if these are people who were forced to do a press conference. Look at Tinoma Chakaire. Recently, he attacked the programs this is violence and said we must give people Zirauro. We must make people rely on themselves, not rely on politicians. Then today he gave a presser, he was beating about the bush. He ended up speaking about corruption. He ended up speaking about other things. And he didn't touch as required the issues of Comrade Geza. He never even attempted to say the word or the name Geza. He never dared say that. And izvozvo zvaitwa naMachakaire zvinoita kuti tive nemibvunzo yakawanda. This presser inini kuona kwandiri kuitwa dzese dzaitika press conferences dzaitwa for public relations kuti vagonzi vakaita press conference. But varume ava matsotsi. Something big is brewing, something big is about to happen. I do not know how, when, and what it is, but from the look of things, if you look at Christopher Mutsvangwa, if you look at how he was actually composing himself, the issues he was touching, he didn't bother to address real issues which were raised by Comrade Geza. He didn't bother to go on to those issues, except ukazoenda kumberuko when he was now talking about specific questions which were asked. The major question is why. So in my own view, the way Comrade Geza was praised, my credentials awe kuhondo, he mentioned his credentials, he mentioned his intelligence capabilities, he mentioned his involvement in the Manize project, all to show the importance of Comrade Geza in everything which is happening, which has been happening, and the future of Zimbabwe. Because he then went on to belong describing the relations between Zimbabwe and South Africa, Mastiukamba and Acho and everything else. And then he started to smuggle in Mnangagwa and Ramaphosa. But the key issues were that he and Geza are the people behind it. That is the reason why he said, Inini, personally, I went to South Africa to meet my executives in South Africa. Why is he doing that? They are trying by all means possible to get all the credit. So, at the end of the day, you one day don't be shocked to hear Christopher Mutsvangwa achizobuda achitaura kuti Mnangagwa una chawakaita tisitakara ana Manize parliament tistakadai. Kasukwere has taken ownership of the parliament building. And we are likely also going to see Christopher Mutsvangwa claiming that ownership with pandandri kuChina ndindakazoidai ndikazodai ndiri ambassador. Mnangagwa achasara nechi. So it's becoming more interesting, guys. But let us watch and see. At this point in time, my message to the people is it's hard to conclude, it's hard to take sides. Let us tread cautiously.
We welcome you to Africa and Beyond Television Network, where we celebrate the past, present, and future of Africa. We invite you to join us in this journey of discovery and to help shape the narrative of our continent. Together, we can create a brighter